Hey guys, welcome to Digit.in, and what we have for you today is the review of Sony's X90H or X9000H. Both are the correct model numbers, and this TV is available in India in 55 and 65-inch screen sizes. What we have for review out here is the 65-inch screen size priced at 1,69,990 rupees. But if you get the 55-inch one, it's priced at 1,09,990 or about 1,10,000 rupees if you just want to round it out, and 1,70,000 rupees for the 65-inch one. Now, Sony is marketing these TVs as a ready for PlayStation 5 TV, and disclaimer about that right up ahead. We don't have a PS5 to test this TV with, nor do we have the Xbox Series S or X to do it. So what you should know is that when we use this TV for gaming, we use the PS4 Pro and an Xbox One X. But why is Sony calling this TV ready for PlayStation 5? Well, with a PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X, whichever of the two consoles you decide to buy, you are going to get technology which is HDMI 2.1. Now, here's the thing, HDMI 2.1 is relatively new, but it's not new in TVs because LG's NanoCell and OLED TVs last year also had it. This year also have it, but from Sony stable, this is the first TV that we've heard of that comes with HDMI 2.1. There's also Sony's 8K TV of 2020, which will also support HDMI 2.1. But the features for the X90H, the TV that we're currently reviewing, HDMI 2.1 will come in the future as a firmware update, and it will only be available in two ports, which is HDMI 3 and HDMI 4. So if you're going to buy both the consoles and you're going to be able to use it with this TV, also the NVIDIA's new 30 series GPUs also bring with them HDMI 2.1. So yes, you will be able to use all of that on this TV, but HDMI 3 is also the ARC port. So if you are going to connect this to a home theater, then you are just left with the HDMI 4 port for HDMI 2.1. So this is something you should know if HDMI 2.1 and being ready for the next gen is something that's important to you about this TV. We wish the TV had all 4 ports as HDMI 2.1, but it's only bringing 2. So how does this TV perform? Well, before we get into the performance, let's start with the build and design. This TV is a little thick, and that's not necessarily a bad thing because this is a full array backlighting TV which brings with it local dimming zones as well. It has a VA panel, and we do not know the maximum brightness of the panel, but what we can tell you is that it gets really bright. More on that in the performance. Let's just finish the build and design. All the ports of the TV are on one side, easily accessible, whether you put this on a tabletop or wall mounted. You got 4 HDMI ports, 2 USB ports, a headphones out, optical out as well. So it's pretty loaded when it comes to connectivity options. The feet of this TV are actually very unique. I mean, they are so slim when you look at them. It's so uniquely designed with minimalism that when you look at it, you're like, will this even hold it in place? And it does. And the feet are sturdy, and on the table on which I've kept the TV, I cannot fit a 55-inch of, let's say, the Realme SLED TV on this table, but I could manage to fit a 65-inch TV, the Sony TV, on the table, which is actually really great. They are sturdy, and they don't have any screws per se that hold them in place. They have a very slot and hold kind of design, so it's really easy to put this TV on a tabletop yourself. There's enough place below the TV if you're going to put your set-top box or a gaming console or keep certain things out there, whether the next-gen consoles are not going to fit below this TV. But if you have a PS4 or an Xbox One right now, you should be able to fit it there quite comfortably. Now, coming to the picture quality, this TV has a 4K panel, it supports HDR10, and it supports Dolby Vision, and it supports Dolby Atmos, and the picture quality is great. I mean, we watch our regular slew of content on it, be it Our Planet on Netflix, which is really beautiful, Altered Carbon. We can't show you that footage anymore for copyright reasons, but that's again a show that looks absolutely bright and beautiful, especially in some sequences which are in areas which have more darkness and a little bit of light coming through. It looks absolutely brilliant. Even shows on Prime Videos that bring HDR, whether you're watching The Boys if you're still watching that, or you're watching The Grand Tour, or you're watching Jack Ryan, content looks vibrant. Now, if memory serves me right, the X95G, which was last year's flagship LED TV from Sony, the picture performance of that was slightly better than this one, and that's something to keep in mind if you are going to buy a TV this year. So if you have that one from last year, or you're thinking of picking that one up if HDMI 2.1 is not important for you, you're getting a great television because that was a brilliant TV last year. This year you have the X90H, which we're talking about, and also the X95H, which is a successor to last year's X95G. A lot of lingos out there, but I hope you got it because I just tried to create a timeline of TVs for you based on what you're going to buy. All these TVs are great. So even if you are considering the X90H for gaming and content consumption, know that you're getting a TV that can produce content beautifully. anything you watch, be it even full HD content. We love the sequence in Mission Impossible, for example, because it's got fast moving images, and we do switch off motion flow to see how 24 frames per second movie content looks on these TVs, and it looks absolutely great. Even if you're going to consume content of YouTube, know that you're going to have a good time watching content on this TV. Yes, HDR content looks brilliant, much better than most budget TVs we've tested so far, but so does SDR content. So if content consumption is also important to you and this TV fits your budget of 1,10,000, maybe during the Diwali sale you might be able to get it cheaper, I don't know, but that's the price it's going for right now, then it's a great contender nonetheless. When it comes to the UI, now this is where things get very interesting, is because Sony has always helmed the Android TV UI, and there are times when most budget TVs today, even the mid-ranged ones, I can do a lot of multitasking on them, start popping up the assistant, opening various apps, jumping between apps, and I can get the TV to stutter and lag and succeed and feel very proud of myself that I got a TV to lag. I tried everything in my power to get this TV to lag, and it just would not. I opened Netflix, immediately brought up the Google Assistant to do something for me, tried to switch apps, tried to switch sources, tried to go into settings and do a lot of things, and with any kind of everyday usage, I could not get the UI on this TV to lag at all. And that's a testament to how far Android has come when it comes to Android TVs, because this TV is butter smooth with everything that we've done. And it's a bit of a big deal because the UI brings with it some new elements. So if you're watching content and you press the settings button, you have this nice small row that pops up at the bottom, which will give you things like your brightness, your picture preset, sources. You can actually even customize that row as per your needs. But once you go into the main settings where you will control things like your brightness, your contrast, you actually get this nice little image with a descriptor next to it telling you exactly what that setting is going to do. So if you go into motion flow and you have no idea what motion flow is, you're not only going to get a write-up about what that setting does, but also get a nice image that tries to highlight what that setting is going to do. It's a great UI change, especially for those that are afraid to go and tinker in settings of televisions because they don't know what they'll end up doing. Now they actually have an idea of the settings that they are going to tinker with. So I actually really like this change to the UI, and the fact that it runs so smoothly is an added benefit. So to sum up, now this is a flagship TV, it's from Sony, it's from a brand that's been making TVs for so long that they know exactly what they're doing, especially in the premium segment. So let's just round this off with the pros and the cons and what are your alternatives at this price point. The picture quality on this television is absolutely brilliant. Oh, the one most important thing I forgot before we round up, it's the remote control. Now the remote control looks pretty much identical to what we got on the X95G. It's a full-size remote. It's got a nice textured back, so you can actually hold it very comfortably. It has kind of a tapering design, which means it's slightly thicker at the bottom, thinner at the top. Again, this fits ergonomically in your hand. It does have all the traditional controls, be it your number controls, a Google Voice Assistant button in the middle, navigation buttons, channel buttons, volume buttons, playback buttons at the bottom. It's not like the minimalistic remote controls we've seen from so many other brands who are sticking with just OTT hotkeys and some navigation keys and volume, and that's about it. This is a full-fledged traditional remote. Again, it doesn't bother me if it's a traditional remote or a new style remote. It has to be very ergonomic, and that's what this remote control is. The buttons are nice and big, and they're rubbery and they're clicky, and you know exactly what's where once you get used to it by just feeling the remote around. So it is very ergonomic. It's right up there with the remote control you get with LG, for example, which is their Magic remote on their flagship OLED that we saw last year as well. So it has a great remote control, and it's identical to what the X95G brought with it last year. So now let's sum up what this TV brings with it. First of all, it brings with it a really nice, unique design, especially with those feet. If you're going to put it up on a table, it looks good, it looks premium. The picture quality is top notch because not only is this a full array backlit TV, it also brings with it local dimming, which is going to be great if you're going to consume HDR content and content that brings with it a lot of contrast. It is a great TV for gaming as well, and it brings with it Sony's multi-acoustic audio, which means that the sound output is good. It might lack a little bit of bass here and there because these are TV speakers, but at about 40% volume, they got the job done really well for me. So if you're thinking of this TV from a content consumption perspective, you're not going wrong in any way because content consumption on this TV is great. But, and this is a deciding factor for a smaller percentage of you who are going to upgrade to the next gen console. If you're a PlayStation fanboy, if you're an Xbox fanboy, you're just going to get that one console, you should be fine. If you're a PC gamer and you just have a new 30 series GPU and that's going to be your gaming machine under this TV, that's also going to be fine because it just has two HDMI 2.1 enabled ports, port 3 and port 4, which will come as a firmware update later this year. It isn't available right now, the update. And that is exactly the decision making you need to have when you are buying this TV. If you're just going to get one console and maybe a soundbar and a home theater at some point, you're good to go. But if you are going to get both the consoles, or you have both the consoles and a gaming PC, lucky you in that case, then you need to consider some options as well, because you'll end up switching out the HDMI cables if you want to take full advantage of everything HDMI 2.1 brings. And how that actually pans out with the next gen consoles is something we'll only know when we get our hands on them. But know that there are TVs from LG, for example, that bring all 4 ports HDMI 2.1 enabled, and there are some TVs from other brands which bring maybe 1 port, as I've seen with my online research at some point, that some TVs have just 1 HDMI port as well, which is only HDMI 2.1 compatible. So that's where your decision making actually lies, because if you're just looking for a TV for content consumption and you have a budget of about ₹1,00,000, yes, you have a lot of options to choose from, but I really like Android TVs at this point, because simply because of the way the UI works and the apps get updated faster than on other OSs on TVs. Plus, Android is going to get those updates. I have seen TVs from Sony from all the way back in 2016 still receive updates. So if Android updates is also important to you, then know that you're getting a TV that is going to get updates for quite a few number of years. The TV also supports Apple AirPlay if that's something that you want. You want to be able to play content off your iPhone. So there you have it, guys. That was our review of the Sony X9000H or the 90H, depending on which market you are in. This TV's model number is the respective to 90H, 9000H. You can always let us know what you thought of this review in the comment section below, whether you're buying this TV. If you have any queries about it, we will do our best to answer it. We will catch you in another video, and to be updated with everything that we're doing, you can subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you're notified when we upload a new video. We will catch you in another video. It's goodbye for now.